Hello and welcome to the Black Cat Intuitive and to my latest reading, which is on the 3-Eye Atlas and what exactly is going on with that. So that's a very interesting thing because a lot of astronomers don't know what this is, and there's suspicions, but some people think it's an alien ship, some people think it's like a comet, some people think there's all these different theories, but today I'm going to probe into that with my cards and intuition to get a sense of what this is and what it means. So that's the first two questions I'm going to be asking. What is 3-Eye Atlas? And the second one is what this means. All right, so let's get started. All right, I'm going to clear the space with pure consciousness, and then clear myself with pure consciousness, and intend that I have a very clear connection to what this. So what is the 3-Eye Atlas is my first question. All right. Make sure the camera is configured. Okay. What is 3-Eye Atlas? What is 3-Eye Atlas? What is 3-Eye Atlas? What is 3-Eye Atlas? Okay, we've got a microphone here. We've got, I hear this is very important, we've got some groups of people speaking and then somebody on the side. And then shuffle a bit more. Yes, two from the bottom. Okay. And then interesting. So these are the cards that I get are important. A microphone, a person in the side of a group, and then two people together. So let us see. Okay, what is 3-Eye Atlas? What is 3-Eye Atlas? What is 3-Eye Atlas? What is 3-Eye Atlas? Allow my pure consciousness to be released from my my psyche, and then pure consciousness. And what is 3-Eye Atlas? And the first thing I heard was, oh, I'm gonna sneeze. I would sneeze. Oh my goodness. Yeah. Anyway, you know that feeling when you're about to sneeze and you don't. It's kind of the sneeze gets stuck. That's what I'm experiencing right now. So that's interesting. It is a portend of things together. Is it a spaceship? Yes. Is it an energy field? Yes. Is it, the most important thing to know is a portend of things to come. It is coming to your reality so that all of humanity can move to the highest timeline. They can move to this higher timeline immediately, because there have been many timeline wars and many timelines that have been sucked down into very nefarious realities, and we do not want that to happen to this timeline. That is why things have gotten so hairy, shall we say. Yes, things have gotten hairy. But when things get, shall we say, hairy, and is the word that comes to mind, then that is a sign that things are good. Because if there's no fight, then the timeline is lost and the dark side may have taken over. In fact, it probably has, as it has in so many darker timelines. But this is not a darker timeline. This is a timeline as exemplified by all the activity, all the chaos. This is a good sign. This is a positive sign that you're moving towards a better future. So do not look at the hairy, a better word for that, our channel wants a better word, that they don't like this word. So the channel is unstable, untethered, unchained, just very unstable. So that is actually a sign of positivity. The energy, well, it may not look like that, but what happens sometimes is, now we are going into a different tangent. But But the thing is that then there can become too unstable with the whole reality gets, shall we say, gridlocked. Another better word for that would be off the rail to the point it cannot be stayed. But when it becomes really stale and stable, then it can mean that the dark side has taken over. But when there's movement, that means that there's fight in people's psyches. There's fight in even signs of distress and anger can be positive because you're going in the positive direction. So is it a spaceship? Yes, it is from maybe not quite. It's a different sort of spaceship. Yes, a different sort of spaceship. It's definitely manned, and then I seeing this image of, okay, am I seeing the being that is in charge? Yes, seeing the being in charge. So there's sort of a being that's in charge of the operation. He's not always on the spaceship, but he's kind of logical and robotic like, but he's in charge of this whole operation. He says, this is what he says, God, humans are stupid. I really tire of dealing with humans, but at the same time, I love humans as well, but they are really frustrating and difficult to deal with. That's what I say. I'm seeing that somebody who's in charge, this being, that's kind of a male energy, kind of a robotic 4 foot type, 4.5 foot, yeah, something like that. He's been around for a long time, and he's seen all of the human foibles, and he says, boy, humans are exhausting. Humans are difficult to deal with. There's something else, but I still have as much as humans frustrate me, I still have positive views of humans that they can transcend. He's like, God, are they stupid sometimes? They are truly stupid, though. That's what he says. He says, they're truly, he's like, and I don't mean to have offense taken to humans, but they are very, like, he's like, when you watch them over and over, so how old are you? I asked him, this person, he's like this figure that it's in charge of this. Yeah, he's in charge of the optics. He says he's in charge of the optics in this reality. And he says, how long have you been? About 5. He's kind of like, I've lost count, but I think about 5 million years old. But he's like, when humans are out of this reality, it sounds like a long time, but it becomes different. It's almost like you get used to it, and it's not as strange as it sounds. But back to the what is 3i Atlas? And he also says whatever he's saying, he interjects himself into any reality, even. He says small YouTube, even small, because there's big YouTubers. Like, I'm saying to myself, why would you interject yourself into my, small YouTube reality or what have you? He's like, every bit counts. Every bit counts as to changing the consciousness. He says, sometimes beings, they will interject themselves into small YouTube energies because they help. Even interjecting yourself into a reality can help it change. Even if nothing is done, even if nothing is said, it can help this just the flow of consciousness go into a better direction. So this 3i Atlas, let's get back to this 3i Atlas. It is a sight to behold. The people who are watching this, but the people who just do not give it any mind, they are truly, it's the whole, so what is the purpose? So that's the question. The whole purpose is to change human consciousness. The whole project of this is to change human consciousness. No, we are not going to take over your planet. And I hear him laugh. Yeah, I hear him laughing. He finds people's theories to be very he finds humans to be very humorous. He's in charge of the optics of this whole thing, and he says that yes, he's like the humans are very comical, and they kind of go down. They tend to go down tangents, and sometimes they get it right, but sometimes they don't. Sometimes they don't get it right, and he's like humans are. He's like, I don't want you to think I'm mocking humans. He's like, I he's like, I have interjected myself into the human experience, and it was just too much for me. So I'm not mocking you, but you guys are too much sometimes. Is what he says. You guys are too much sometimes. Too much. But he's like, I still love you humans, but you are too much sometimes to deal with. You're very frustrating. He's like, you're very frustrating to deal with. We go to all this trouble to create the optics in your timeline, and some of you don't even. He's like lots of people have been paying attention to this reality. He's like, but some are not. He's like, and the whole idea is that this would be enough to sort of activate the humans in a positive direction. And in a way it is a success, but humans are unpredictable, and he thought it would take fire even more, this 3-eye atlas optic consciousness change generator. That's what he says, a conscious or change generator. Yeah, a change generator. And he says that yeah, he's surprised that it's not taking fire even more. But it's done some job. But the whole purpose of it, let's see. Yeah, the purpose of it, okay, let's see. Okay, they're kind of arguing with me what cards do. Okay, so your children are watched over by angels. He says that this is not a threat. He's like, the 3-eye atlas is not a threat. And it is trustworthy. It is trustworthy. And energy healing work, and it's meant, he says the trouble with it is that people, he's like, a trouble with this is that people get focused on the wrong thing. And he's like he says what this person in charge of 3-eye atlas is. He says that I always underestimate. He's like, when I think I have humans figured out, he's like, you think from watching humans that I have them figure it out, but sometimes they can be very predictable, they can be unpredictable, but they get stuck in the wrong energies. He's like, they get stuck in the wrong energies instead of going within. And he's like, I should have known that they would be so focused outward at the wrong times instead of not focused inward at the right times. He says there is something about humans, and he says, I'm sorry, I don't want to sound cynical, but he's like, humans always surprise me with their, he's like, I don't want to keep on insulting humans. So he's like, it's not helpful for humanity, but he says that they're very frustrating to deal with when you've watched them for 5 million years. He's like, they've like, sometimes he thinks they're actually like toddlers, but he's like, and their imagination can very much be used against them. And he's like, he says something about imagination is very much used against human beings. He says that many times humans can basically, they use imagination. Their imagination should be a pure force that guides them forward into the highest reality. He says imagination can be used as a force that moves people forward. But the imagination is one of the most powerful forces that humans have. But instead of using it to move forward, people, like, they start, even with this, he says their imagination goes into all these worst case scenarios. What could it be? It could be an alien, it could be this, it could be that. And the whole point of this was to activate people's imaginations to go within and to create, to get in touch with their sparkle within. It was almost like Christmas night or Santa Claus, how it activates wonder in human beings. He says, but then people are going onto this dark rabbit holes and it's turned. He's like, it's kind of turned into this total psychotic energies as well. So humans, he says, imagination should be utilized for the positive, should be utilized for the positive. And these humans, they do not do that. They do not okay, I'm gonna get some more. So yeah, he's in charge of the optics of the 3-eye atlas. Okay. Okay, change naked. Okay, change naked boss. Okay, what other cards do you, okay. Oh, this one right here? Yeah. Eliminate. Okay, is that the one? Change, eliminate. And okay, this is what he thought that this would. He says that he always, humans can be very predictable, but they can also be unpredictable. But lots of scientists he said he's hoping that that this would eliminate blocks to change and have humans move forward faster in the most optimal timeline. And he wanted it to help people go within, but they are going without. That's what he says. He says he wanted it to create a consciousness, but going within, and then people went without. And then basically, he wanted people to become the boss of their own lives and not, that's the whole idea, right? And he says, he talks about when this whole thing, you all watch human consciousness. It's like a science experiment. He says it's fascinating at the best of times and fascinating at the worst of times. And basically what happens is when you push people forward, he wanted to push people forward, but it's like, it's people are he says there is still hope, but people are very obstinate. They're very obstinate in their ways, and it's like he wanted to loosen that and help people to he wanted people to see, not be embarrassed of, but feel not trapped in their old ways. Like that was the whole kind of energy, not to be trapped in their own ways, their old ways. But yet he says he feels amazed at the degree that humans just plug on with their usual energies. They can be very obtuse. He says, fascinating. He says, that is true. Fascinating, very fascinating. And they fear the wrong things. Like they fear this optics in the sky, but they don't fear eating 50 Twinkies a day or other things that they should be afraid of. Humans are very wrong, he says, but we can set the course right, and that is the objective, so do not lose faith, wait it out, move forward, and intend that it goes in the most positive of directions. He says, I don't want to make it sound like I was negative about humans. He says, I don't want to make it sound, that is not my intention. Humans, they're frustrating at times. So that's what I got. I got that there was sort of somebody in charge of the optics of the 3-eye atlas, whatever it is, spaceship, not energy field, force field, and it's really. Okay, one more thing. What do the scientists think about it? I'm hearing they know. the people in charge, they know what everything is. They know, they have technology. I'm hearing the word, they know what everything is. Like anything that is otherwise, they know many more things than they let you, like, that let you know on. So they know what it is, I'm hearing. So at least the people at the top know what it is. So, and yield. I'm hearing yield, I'm hearing it's not going to crash. It's not going to crash. It's like a space, like bubble continuum field. That's what I'm hearing, a space bubble continuum field. So is it a spaceship? Kind of. But it's like it can change substance. It can be almost like a force field. So it is a spaceship, but kind of a directed energy spaceship. It's a moving being thing spaceship, which sounds funny, but that's what I get with that. So meant to change human consciousness, a moving being spaceship. So stay tuned for my next reading, which is I'm going to do reading on the significance of the ostrich farms in Canada. So that's will be my next reading.